Here we go. USS Titan-A, which I will say the model looks fantastic. How's the lighting turn on? Very sexy lighting turning on. Neo Constitution class is actually a very beautiful design by New Trek. I liked this Neo Constitution class. It looks very pretty. If there's a reason to get the Titan-A, it looks freaking dope. Oh man, it looks great. I like it.
Fancy intro music, yeah! Woohoo!
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, taking a look at the brand new ship in Star Trek Fleet Command, the USS Titan-A. And I will say from looks alone, personally, I'm in love with the Neo Constitution class. Now that's not necessarily specific to Star Trek Fleet Command. This is actually what they designed for Star Trek Picard Season 3. And I truly do love the look of it. And it's translated really well in game. It is a beautiful model, a beautiful ship, and something that I'm very glad to have added to my collection for that reason alone. But that's not really why y'all are here. Y'all want to know, how viable is this ship in game? Is it useful? And if you're talking about this in April 2023, for some of you, should you buy it to get it early? Now, the good note, it does have a free-to-play path immediately through the X-Borg faction, meaning at level 38, you can get 1 shard a day, and you can take 100 days to unlock this bad boy for free. Now, there are some good reasons for that I'll cover towards the end of the video. I'm gonna go ahead and get a shout out to our friend Jules Verne. He's one of the helpers in my Discord who has great information, and is one of those people that, you know, Rev, DJ, whoever the content creators you follow, we can't do a lot of what we do without help from some great volunteers. He's one of them, so a big thank you to Jules. So let's cover the ship in general, and I want to talk about what's good and bad. One thing you'll note as a positive on this is it's a fast ship. Impulse speed's actually very high, which is really kind of cool because it actually shows that they paid attention to the ship in Picard. In Picard, the Neo Constitution class has got massive impulse engines. It's overpowered and it's actually very fast. How fast? In fact, it's faster than the ISS Jelly, another 4-star ship, and faster than even the Defiant, which is pretty daggone cool. I actually like this, and I think it's a neat feature of the Titan-A. But is that a reason alone to go after it? Well, of course not. Let's talk about what it does and what it doesn't do. One negative to the Titan-A is that it is not a warship. It's an explorer, but to the point that it is actually very weak as a combat ship. Its min and max weapons damage for its various weapons are on par with the Cerritos. And in a lot of ways, it's kind of like the Cerritos 2.0, except it's better than the Cerritos, kinda. I'll explain, don't worry. If you're wondering whether this ship is good or not, we're gonna go over all the details. But big key here is it's never really gonna be a ship that you take into a fight. It's a support ship, completely. It's a logistics ship. You bring it in, you get the buff, you get it out. Similar to how you would operate the Cerritos, but this gives you a little bit more of an impact in a PvP situation, whereas you don't have that with, say, Cerritos. I mean, you can, but it's one at a time. Whereas the big bonus with this is, depending on the level that you've taken your Titan-A, it affects multiple ships with fortification or maximum fortification, 2 different abilities that it has, prioritizing the strongest ships of Alliance members that don't have the ability active. So this is a unique ability which you can use for armadas, PvP, and territory, and it's something that makes it a little bit alluring and different. Here are the 2 abilities listed here. So Fortifies is for all your ships between 2 and 13 Alliance ships, depending on the level of the Titan-A, increasing a critical hit damage by 25% and other bonuses based on that player's research. We'll talk about the research in a second, but essentially you have to research to get bonuses beyond this. And then Maximum Fortification, which is locked. All of your ships, max gives you a 250% base damage and further bonuses based on the research. So 2 different buffs this ship has. If I was to take it out into open space, you'll notice there's a little button for both of these abilities right here, just like you would see on other ships. Let's go into the research real quick and see some of the examples of how it works and what it does. We'll come into the starships tree real quick here and just scroll. It's been added towards the end, starting with Titan's Fist. You see increasing base damage, So when you get fortified or you use it on yourself, your ships are going to have more damage. And then you're going to have base damage against armadas. And you're going to have the dynamic efficiency, which is base damage when max fortified. All these different things that it has. It has its own research tree. And you can also start by increasing its warp range immediately, because that is one of the drawbacks to getting it kind of early on. It doesn't have great warp range compared to some of the other ships we have in the game. So it has a natural ability or a research ability to make that better. Let's talk about overall cost of the ship as well. It is another one of those scale ships. So it starts off 3-star, goes 4-star, goes 5-star, and it's meant to be used for a very long time. Now, there's good and bad to methods like this. The bad is, well, it's never really going to be one of the best ships you have, in that it's not going to be this strong ship that you really use a lot in PvP. And one of the drawbacks, honestly, is one, you need more hangar space now, and you need more docks at this point. We have 3 support ships. If you don't even count the Discovery, you've got the Defiant, the Cerritos, and now the Titan-A. And you can use all these ships in conjunction because they all have separate research, meaning they would all stack on top of each other if you say went into an armada and wanted to activate all of them. But now you need 3 ships for solo armadas and 3 for all your support ships. You need 6 docks. That doesn't even count a disco to help you get there. You need 7. Oh my goodness, so much going on. Not necessarily a negative, but it might be to some people, and I'm sure in the comment section people will talk about that. But here's your total cost raw, tier 1 to tier 4, 4 to 7, and then very much on the right side over there, that is full cost overall. Just kind of going over the basics of what all you'll need to do to take this to the next level. But let's also talk about what this opens up, which is the Titan Refinery. Now, some of these are extrapolations based on what we have so far, because not everybody has gone and upgraded the ship or maxed it out. And there's actually an argument, is there really any incentive to take it and max out the ship today? Which is honestly something that you have to decide for yourself if you are a spender in the game. There is a free-to-play path and you can wait it out. But here are the different skill points. There are 2 dailies that come with the brand new Titan-A, and you'll see the different parts cooldown, the Viridian isotope cooldown for your all these different things, and the ability itself and what you can do and the cooldowns for those. So this chart, those are about to ask, yes, it is in our Discord. If you need people to contact to find it, if you're having trouble, contact either the blue names, which are our moderators, or the orange names, which are the volunteers who help out tremendously. I want to give a big thank you again to all of those, and shout out to Jules Verne and Blue Mandalorian, who are the ones who put together a lot of these graphs to make it to where we can show you this information early on. Beyond these things, what are some of the bonuses we can talk about? Well, we talked about how it works. Remember, there are dailies that you can collect. A drawback to the dailies is you can do once a day, or you can save up, and it takes a while to save up to be able to pull max fortification. In fact, I think it's too much, to the point where you can really only use this ability once a day, or save up and, I'm sorry, it takes off screen, or save up and use it every few days multiple times. I think if you're going to make a support ship like this, will allow us to use it as a support ship. Do I really want to take this out so I can use it on one armada? Or am I just trying to take out one epic armada by myself and that's it? So I think one thing that needs to improve after this is released is allowing people to actually use the ship more, because it's not a combat ship. And if you're going to have a support ship that gives me a boost in what I can do in the game, well, I need to be able to use it more than essentially once a day or a couple times every few days. To me, that's kind of a drawback, and I'm adding that critique into this video because I think that y'all should know what you're getting into if you get it. But let's continue on, because there's more to this. There's actually a couple of positives, and let's talk about the case for being happy with the free-to-play path of the USS Titan-A. And for those that don't know, this month came out not only the Titan-A, but also 7 of 9. So let's assume it's your free-to-play and you've got your command center around 25, which I admit I'm a little bit behind. I'm at 24. So let's assume you have it at 25. What does that mean? It's going to take you 100 days to get the Titan free to play. In that time, you can earn through the refinery rare skill points and things like that. Go down to your support tab. You'll see right here, I'll move this off the screen. We've got these options. So I can actually come in here and turn in, let me just turn in one for you to get our points fragments, things like that we're trying to accrue. I can also come in and get parts to make my ship stronger. There's a chance of what I'm going to get. I got the 2200 there. And then there's the research option, which Obviously, that's really big, and I got 1060, not the greatest pull. So you have these refinery options based on the tier of your Titan. So let's go back to that chart we were just looking at. So this is giving you an estimated date, how long it's going to take you to acquire, getting to Command Center 40. So the first four levels of research require 70 total SP. The basic premise of this is as you're going through the free-to-play path, by the time you unlock the Titan and by the time you go through some of this, it's actually going to have given you enough where you are then going through and unlocking, and you are ready to actually do all these upgrades simply going through the Titan's natural progression path. Again, these are some of the graphics that we can provide you in my Discord. So there are positives to not only getting the Titan now, but also positives to the free-to-play path of the Titan, which I think is really neat. I think it's a nice aspect to where it's timed pretty well. Getting 70 rare skill points through the Titan refinery. You can see Jules actually made a little calendar for y'all, and I appreciate it. We made it today for the purpose of this video. First four levels of skill need 70 rare points. So as you can see, it naturally follows your gameplay right now. So the path is pretty dope. If you're free to play, you're like, hey, should I even bother going after this ship? Yes, you absolutely should. While the ship itself is not going to really take over as a combat ship and you're using it every day to do your dailies and stuff like that, it does improve your gameplay in territory PvP. It does actually have an impact, and I've done several testings myself through things like armadas. Does help. Doesn't make it necessarily perfect. It isn't a huge boost. Again, just a tier 1 Titan-A, but there are multiple reasons to enjoy the Titan-A, and it helps that bottleneck with those fleet commanders, which I know a lot of players are asking about. In fact, that's the highest requested item when it came to things getting added to the event store. So initial thoughts on the Titan-A, it's a good ship. It's interesting in that I love the AoE ability, but it also at the same time, it doesn't feel like you can really take advantage of it enough. And then couple that with the fact that by itself, it's just not really a ship that you can go out and boom with. It's tough to get as excited as I want to. It's beautiful, it works, and there's a great bottleneck down the road. It's a long play ship. You sit here, you get it, and you take advantage of it long term, you'll really appreciate it. But in terms of day one right now, you're not going to take it out the dock and go, wow, I'm so glad I got the Titan-A. But I will tell you this, it will value your game long term. So definitely don't skip it. Definitely go ahead and start working on it. And you'll appreciate it later, and maybe even appreciate it now if you decide to unlock it early. There are a couple of advantages to doing that and making it big and bad. But here's your initial run of the Titan-A. This is your first look. Let me know what you think about the Titan-A in the comment section down below. And if you want to help out the channel, like it, subscribe, and maybe even check out our merch store. Get you some of that sweet swag to represent your favorite Star Trek Fleet Command channel, giving you all the deets, and live long and prosper. Stay safe with the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on the next one. We're out.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.